Hey guys, episode 13 today, and we're speaking with international comedy superstar. I think you're international yet? Aaron Gocs. Gocsy, what are we talking about today, mate?
Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about some of my writing methods, my journey getting to this place, being a dad, that sort of stuff, working. Yep. Cheers.
Awesome, guys. So enjoy this episode number 13 of the Flow State podcast with Aaron Gocs. Welcome, Aaron Gocs. How are you, mate?
Thanks for having me, boys. We got there finally.
We did. Thanks so much. It's like I said in our original take. It's a privilege to have the original chicken salt loving ocean girl on our show. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I just want to say, great moves on those, just solving those audio problems like a tech wizard. You know, you're obviously a pretty switched on bloke, which is great.
Oh, yeah, running a pretty high-tech operation here.
That's great. So I'll repeat question one from before. Obviously, no one will see this, and I shouldn't have even mentioned it, and we should just float on like normal. But anyway, what's for breakfast at your joint today, mate?
Mate, I'm having a bit of cereal this morning, on a bit of a health kick. Had a big dinner last night, so on the cereals.
Beautiful. What's your Nutri-Grain or rice bubbles or what?
Oh, yeah, that's the thing I should clarify, because when you say cereal, you do have all those, like, I know you got those Fruit Loops and all that. That's kind of like not really healthy, but I'm getting on the muesli and that sort of stuff. So, be a good boy in the morning and then naughty the rest of the day.
It's a great idea. So, Gocsy, what's with the health kick? Are you looking to pull the boots back on and play footy or something like that? Because I know you have been playing a bit of footy over the last couple of years since you've moved to Victoria.
I'd love to play footy, but obviously, things are a bit weird at the moment. There's not much local footy on, but plus I'm getting a bit old. I think it's moved past me, unfortunately. I'm in my mid-30s now, but I'm no Brent Harvey or anything like that, but just health in general, like just trying to get a bit healthier, but it's tough because I got a lot of bad habits I've formed over the years. So
we might be able to help you with that, because we had a chat to Anthony Koutafidis a couple of episodes ago, and he's into the herbal life at the moment, and motherfucker's fit too. He's like, he might even be able to get you a couple of games. Like he's not affiliated with Carlton anymore, but we've got a couple of hits to make to get him back on the field, because he's wants to get back on the floor. But maybe you and Kuta could team up and go and dominate Carlton and get him another flag. What do you reckon?
Yeah, sure. Like, I don't know if they need me, but it is interesting it's interesting to see with those guys, because some of them blow out, obviously, when you're not running like 15 Ks a week, and then
Lance Whitnell.
But some of them continue on the good habits as well, so it's case by case, I guess. But that's what I reckon. Some of those guys who you do the massive running, like if they kind of don't continue that and keep eating the same that they're eating, they might blow out, eh?
Yeah, for sure. You know what? With this coronavirus, I've been at home. I feel like I could be at risk of a big blowout, a big 2020 blowout, the way things are going.
Yeah, there's going to be some people come out of it pretty big, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
I worked out the other day, Gocsy, that I've been drinking these Colonials, right? And they're bloody gorgeous. And I bought a slab of those about 12 days ago, and I figured out that I've drunk 9 litres of beer in 12 days. But is that too much? Have you ever hit more than that? Like, do you have a bit of a piss? A bit of a slosh?
Back in the day, I could knock back quite a few, but these days, I'm like responsible dad. I got 2 kids. I got and so I'd be lying. Yeah, I struggle these days.
Yeah,
back in the day I could, but
a good rule for me is just 2 a night while I have to be at home.
Yeah. Well, it's funny with alcohol. You kind of drink different amounts than you would of anything else. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You know, when people if they had that much drink of like juice or milk or water, you'd be like, "What's going on, man?" Like,
Exactly. Just knocking back. Yeah, I'm gonna have another juice.
yeah,
I find
yeah,
people do the same with like energy drinks though. They fucking hit them like they're getting drunk off them.
yeah. That's not very good for the heart.
Where diabetes comes from too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It's just that chasing that sugar high.
Yeah, get the
So,
guarana in you.
how's the
Remember, you don't hear about guarana anymore, do you? Remember that?
Yeah, there was a good period. There was a period in like 2008 to 12 where it was just all guarana everywhere you went.
Yeah,
Every servo had a big guarana sign at the front, didn't they?
yeah. And I think it's funny, like people talking about this thing that they don't even know what it is, but it's like,
It sounds exotic. I remember when I used to skate. I think it's probably a little earlier than 08 because I remember when I was skating when I was like just at the end of primary school to high school, and it was guarana everywhere. And then there was like this big thing about how guarana was horrible, so they changed it to taurine, and so
oh
something
yeah,
else there.
yeah. And then once it changes, all the companies are saying that they've got it, and
Yeah, it's like those buzzword things like gluten free and shit like that. Nobody actually knows what it is, but they're just really happy to buy it if it's organic
Yeah.
gluten free.
yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Hey, so Gocsy, it's Easter, obviously, and you got the kids there. So did you hook them up this year and just fill them up full of chocky and shit, or did you take a lot of the chocky off them and eat it yourself? Because that's what I would have been doing.
Yeah, it was funny because my missus wanted to do the like hide them around the house, and I was like, nah, like we got to get credit for something, you know. Like Santa gets credit at Chrissy, Tooth Fairy gets credit for that. Like
Hmm.
Easter Bunny can rack off. I want to give them the treats and the credit for it, you know. Like
You're not going to kowtow to some fucking vermin.
yeah, that's it, mate. Rabbits destroyed our farms. We're not going.
Not going to give them a whole holiday.
I didn't even think of that, like just linking Easter bunnies to rabbits. But here we are. So
Yeah.
Well, nobody thinks about linking Easter to Jesus, but Cody had a pretty cool interview with Jesus Christ the other night. We tried to clear up a few things.
Good get.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he's never
It's
done
the
an
first
interview
interview he's ever done. Not even Oprah could get him. Not even Mark Maron.
To his manager, like
Yeah.
get the activity.
I could probably hook you up, mate. If you
Yeah,
need a
man.
blessing.
Yeah, we don't get Jesus interviewed by anyone. We come straight to the source.
That's right. Exclusive Flow State interview with Jesus. I didn't get to see it. I was out, but I'll go back and watch it at some point. It looked like it was a good time.
Yeah, do you reckon it'd be like, Jesus, how's your Good Friday going, mate? And he's like, oh, mate,
Shit.
bottle closed, can't put a pun on. It's not Good Friday at all, is it? There's a classic.
Not only that, but I'm pinned to this fucking big piece of wood with nails through my arms. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gocsy.
Hey, so Gocsy. Oh, sorry, you got codes.
I was just going to say.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Gocsy, you had some big plans coming into the Melbourne Comedy Festival, the heavy end of the year for comedians. And how's this affected you, mate? I'm sure it's been pretty negative, as it has been for a lot of artists Australia-wide. Do you have plans to come out of this bigger and better?
Yeah, it's brutal, mate, because, like, yeah, obviously, massive festival, and you kind of plan your year all around it, you know? You're like, all right, a few months leading in, you know, do a few gigs, get the spider webs off, that sort of thing, and then, yeah, but then it's gone. So, yeah, I lost heaps of gigs, probably over 30 gigs, because I was doing a few other cities as well. I was doing like Perth, Sydney Fest, Brisbane.
Yep.
Yeah, so I lost all that. Yeah, and also like that's that side of it, obviously, you know, like financial, whatever, which is huge. But then also you kind of you wanted to do the show, which sounds obvious, but you know, you think of it, you want to do it, and in your head you start, you know, you see as sports players say, they say like you see yourself. You
visualize it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I was like just thinking of doing it, and because the one I was going to do was kind of like a rip off or parody. I don't know what the right word is of like your TV talk shows, like your Conan, Letterman, that sort of thing.
It was called Gocsy Tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
yeah, I had plans to come and see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was excited. I was like, I'm going to sit there at the desk like I'm Rove or Letterman, and got my mug and stuff. And
that's the show, mate. Like, I'm surprised if an exec comes to that. I wouldn't be surprised if an exec comes to that and go, Gocsy, we want to work with you. Just goes, here's $10 million. Go do all the cocaine you can. We start on next week.
Well, it'll be like, Gocsy, I love you, but the only thing we show now on telly is reality shows. So I can't.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's like, it's a thought that counts. Yeah, that'd be brutal. Like, if this was 15 years ago, mate, would have signed you up.
Yeah.
But now, unless you can,
renovate a house.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, how fast can you cook a meal and how many dramas can you cause?
Yeah. It's the people have to have the journey, don't they? The singers where they're like, oh, my mum was a single mum with 27 kids. We had to sing for dinner and all this.
Sing for your
supper. Mate, yeah. It's like, mate, we all struggle. I've had Maltese that don't get up, and
yeah, that is a big struggle.
But brutal. But there's a lot of people doing it tough. So
I know what you mean when you say that you visualize it and stuff, because you spend every day in the lead up at least thinking about it for at least an hour, I reckon, and getting excited by the idea. And as it's coming together, you get more and more built up for the show. And then when it's just pulled out from underneath you, it's pretty, it can be pretty heartbreaking, I suppose.
Yeah, because I usually do, pretty, let's face it, pretty normal sort of stand. Well, not normal stand up. I'm a bit of a weirdo, but you know what I mean? Because some people, that's the good thing about the fests. They allow you this bit of freedom that you wouldn't do in the comedy club. We're a bit of a weird, different sort of show.
Yeah.
So I was looking forward to that. I'd never really done anything like that. So
something that wasn't stand-up comedy, essentially.
Yeah. And having guests on, I was going to chat to them. Like, as you know, with podcasts and that, that's part of the fun of it is getting someone on to chat. And I was looking, and I had a few other segments too, some silly muck around stuff. So, but anyway, hopefully we get through this and might be able to try it again sometime. But
hopefully we'd be good to see you doing the Gocsy Tonight show later in the year, sometime around Melbourne or Ballarat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's funny because
out there.
Yeah, and a lot of people they mean well, which is nice, and they say, "Oh, go live," but it's like what I had planned doesn't really suit that,
Yeah.
So
you've got to have that interaction with a real audience too. It's it does count for a lot.
Yeah, definitely, and also when you got people in and you're asking them stuff and they may not want it, that show being that night and it never leaves the room, that sort of thing is kind of part.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than having it recorded for all time for everyone to see.
Yeah, that's it, totally.
And it's just like a lot of comedians are doing they're doing live comedy shows and stuff like that. And I know it's just to keep working and keep exercising the muscle, so to speak. But I just don't think it can work without an audience. I feel like you can be funny, but it's a different style of funny. It's just like a bit of banter. And that's, you can't stand there. I don't think you can go live and deliver a joke the same as you could in an atmospheric comedy club.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a hard time. Like, I've been invited to come and do a couple of these online gigs, and I just can't, I don't know, I can't see it working. My stuff doesn't work even when there is an audience.
No, I had the same too. Yeah. I had a couple of people were like, ask if I wanted to try one of those, and I was just like, well, to be honest, I had that show lined up, the TV talk show type thing, and To be honest, I didn't have any other gear, so yeah. I've retired all the old stuff. I don't have like hits that I can go back to. Like
You've retired it all.
Yeah, I'm not Cold Chisel. You know? No one's like, do case. I'll make my case on, you know.
Do you often find yourself moving from your old material and just starting again on completely new stuff and then like working all that stuff out?
Oh well, to be honest, I'm not a massive writer. Like, as in, you know, some people like pump it out because I'm not really like. It's more like stuff that happens in my life. So I'm like, come on, kids, do something funny so I can. I'm not like things out of nothing, or even, you know, a lot of comedians are like sort of look at the news and politics, and I'm not much that, you know, because I don't really understand any of it. But yeah, so I don't think I've really answered your question, but
that's all right. No. Yeah, because observational humor, I suppose, rather than rehashing stuff you've already talked about that's happened to you, you're waiting for new experiences.
Yeah, totally. And
like something will happen to you and you'll just lock it in the memory bank and say, I'll talk about that on stage. And you've just got a natural way of being able to talk about it in a funny way. Is that about
it? Because everyone's got their own system. Like some people sit down, pen and paper, whatever, try and, which is fine. It's whatever suits you. But yeah, this will sound a bit cheesy but I'm just always thinking, mate.
You're never thinking.
Yeah. Mate, I'm just always on, like 24/7, looking for funny stuff happening.
I mean, I followed you since real early on, like well, as early on as I can think anyway. When I remember, it was like pre-Hungry Jacks when you're doing stuff about Hungry Jacks, and I think one of the things that everybody kind of really liked is that's you. You know what I mean? And you were talking about nostalgic stuff from when you were a kid, which is obviously around the same time I was, which was around 90s sort of thing. But like people really, really identified with that and thought, fuck yeah, Sanity, of course, why are they open? And Gocsy's taking photos in front of all of them. I remember once you came to Bendigo and I was just like some fucking mad fan. I was like, Gocsy's coming to Bendigo. I'm like, hey man, I sent you a message. I'm like, hey, do you want to go to Hungry Jacks or something? And you're like, yeah, man, if I get there. And then you messaged me back, which was really nice. And you're like, oh, I got caught up coming from Ballarat, so I missed it. Sorry, mate. Maybe next time. So.
Yeah. Maybe we can have a Zoom Hungry Jacks meeting, but
we should when they let us in. Yeah.
No, I really appreciate you saying that because you know, like I don't try to like dissect what I do too much, but it is kind of like it was never an intentional like this is what I'm going to do because that might be popular or what. It was just like this is what I think is funny, you know, like you know, and I love things like say like the movie The Castle, like that suburban Aussie humor, and but I just try to obviously I'm not talking about The Castle things because that's not my life. You know, I don't have someone trying to knock my house down or lawyers, all that stuff. It's just like, like crappy fast food and shops and all that. Yeah, just like life in the suburbs sort of thing. And that's what I think is like just quirky little things. Yeah, but
and that's the thing. A lot of people really do like you're no different to anybody when they do that, but they just haven't ever thought to talk about like, you know, when you go to, they fuck up the onion rings or whatever, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Yeah. They don't think to say that stuff. So they love it when you do, which is great.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah. Like, I guess it's, people probably do with mates, but it's like, I wanted to do that where it's like break down the barrier. Like, like a comedian talking about these shitty little things of life, you know, not as shitty as in bad, like,
no. And Gocsy,
you got comedians trying to deal with the big issues, which is fine. Yeah. Like,
no one's dealing with the little issues.
Yeah. I'm like, well,
the real stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about chips going cold too quick, and
you did a beautiful documentary on chicken salt, which was gorgeously shot for Vice. That was fucking fantastic, man. I remember watching that and not only pissing myself laughing, but going, oh wow, that's how they do that. You know what I mean? I got everything I needed out of it. It was great. How did that come about with that opportunity with Vice?
Yeah, well, they asked me to come and do it, which is unreal. It's like I said, when you start these things, you don't set out with, well, you don't want to do stuff, but you seem crazy, you know. But then when someone's like, "You want to come to a chicken salt factory? I'm to a docker." Where do I,
Yeah.
and then on the day though, it's a bit harder because it's one thing to think of it, and then they're like, "All right, make walking around a chicken salt factory funny," which is easier said than done because it's like there wasn't much to say, you know. It's like there's the machines.
It was funny. Yeah, whatever you did, it worked. It was a very
That's why
funny
it was
video.
funny, and you were just being yourself. So
Yeah, that's another. It goes on to a point I was going to say is that a lot of people, I think, they make the mistake, Gocsy, of thinking that you're a comedy character, that you're not like that in real life. But I know you personally, and I would say that it's what you see is what you get as well. I have a lot of people come up to me and ask me, and they're like, "Is Gocsy really like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he's pretty laid back."
Yeah, well, like, yeah, when I hang out with you guys, you know, before and after the gig, obviously, when you get on stage, you turn it up a bit of volume. But yeah, I like to think it's pretty close.
Pretty real. Yeah. Which is good. It's good because I think it makes it easier to write then.
Well, I'm not really smart enough to create a character, so yeah, it's just pretty much me. But you know, and a lot of those things I talk about, they are things that happened to me. You know, like the stitch up. That was a thing that happened at work, but it's not as simple as, you know. But I did have to think about how I'm going to word it, how I'm going to present it, and
yeah, of course, yeah.
But the stitch. I was going to say the stitch up became like from your video. The stitch up became a part of like young adult culture. The stitch up is now a thing. Like people like it was obviously a thing before, but because you said it, and those young people got onto it, it's now the thing. Oh, stitch up, ha ha ha, and they think of Gocsy. So,
well, it's funny you say that because like you know, like I said, all different comedians have different ways of workshopping ideas, and some people get together and officially do it, like say, all right, this is our workshop hour, but that was more just like a few of us comedians who would muck around and say stupid stuff, and there was a few of us who were like sort of, and you see it now with nostalgia, we're obsessed with like early 90s culture and 80s, and that's where that from was, like, you know, that Hey Hey It's Saturday era, and the old school footy shows and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And words, we loved it, just like Aussie slang, like, yeah, I've been stitched up, mate, that sort of thing. And there was kind of like a younger audience that didn't really even know the term. And
Cody and I have this. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, some people think I think I just made the term up or something, but it was kind of an old obscure Aussie sort of term, and a little bit, I think. I don't know.
There was something about that video. I knew you before the video, Gocsy, but there was something about that video that just, I think it was the setting of it all, and what you're wearing, like a tradie top, and you know, it just looked like some bloke, some classic Aussie battler in a room, and I think that really added to the flavour of the whole thing.
Yeah, well, it was just did it right before I just actually went to work, like as in like 10 minutes. I just did it, and I actually started late, ran late that day.
It was all worth it, mate.
Yeah. Sometimes that was it. At that point, yeah, it was pretty early, and I was still like nervous and stuff, and you know, I don't want to get too deep and into karma and stuff, but it was a little bit of like forcing yourself to get out of your comfort zone, because I did feel kind of nervous doing that, but it probably added to it.
I think that was some of the first videos I saw, Gocsy, where you were sitting in front of your laptop in your tradie gear, and you did the impersonation of the Simpsons.
Yeah, again, that was another thing we used to muck around with, a few comedians. Just, and the thing is, when you do it with them, you know, because comedians are like, they're hard to make, it's hard to crack. You know, they've heard it all. A lot of comedians say the only thing that makes them laugh is like other comedians stuffing up and being heckled. You know, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, dark stuff.
And I used to just do that, mucking around, you know, and putting on stupid, you know, obviously intentionally bad, you know, like I'm Bart, the skateboard kid, and all that crap.
Because
And I don't think it was like, oh, I'm the first to do it or whatever.
No.
But I guess it's like, because I had seen, there's a lot of that around, and you've probably seen it, like, there's like, you've seen those ones where they're like purposely dark Simpsons and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, not dark as in skin color,
The thing, I watched that probably 6 or 7 times the first day I saw it, and I cried because I laughed so fucking much at it. It was just the funniest shit in the world. Like, I get no bloody respect around here. That was just a good touch. And I think that's why it worked too. Again, it's just you being yourself, making a gag.
Yeah, he made Homer say bloody hell.
Yeah, bloody hell. That's something you would never say.
Bloody hell.
It's that premise of like, what if something, was something else? It's been done.
Loved it.
Like, what if they were Aussie?
And you also did a video of a very insightful video of reviewing that fisherman's basket from your local fish and chip shop up there in Brisbane.
Yeah, well, again, that was just like, we got all these people doing gourmet food, so reviews, and because that's when it was huge at the time, all that MasterChef coming in, and so I just thought, flip the script a bit, and what if someone was talking about shitty, and again, I don't mean shitty, it's nice, and
it is, yeah,
but that's
lovely.
It's like, I like this. I actually genuinely like this. Like, sometimes it's making fun of it. It starts off as making fun of it. Like, I used to talk a lot about Red Rooster, and I think it was making fun of it a bit. And
I love Red Rooster.
yeah, now I just love it. It's just simple, easy food and whatever. But that was just like, talk about stuff that I don't think I'd seen anyone reviewing fish and chips. And then, but there is. I'm not trying to say I invented it, but
Yeah.
sometimes you just don't look for too much stuff, because then then you find out, someone's done that, or
you can't be living like that, because if you type in, you make up a joke in your head and type it, and you go, oh fuck, 6 people have done it. But like, if you just go with it and run it how you would run it, hopefully nobody had done it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
So you moved down to Victoria from Brisbane. How long ago was that, and what was the reason for the move?
Yeah, so I'm not too good with exact dates. I think it was because you just live in your life. You're not
exactly
doing anything. But not,
as Cody would say, not governed by the clock.
Yeah, classic Cody saying. But it was kind of 3 or 4 years ago. That's sort of 2016, I think. And my first place I went to was Melbourne, down to the Big Smoke. Yeah, just for the comedy, really, trying to get things to take off, because I'm originally from Brisbane, and while it's a pretty big city, I think it's 3rd biggest after Melbourne and Sydney in Australia. It's pretty big, but there's not. You kind of just hit a wall where you can't do anything more. Like, I was doing a few local gigs and stuff, and so like, mainly one of the big ones was gig wise, but also trying to work with people with filming and stuff. So
so Melbourne's like the epicenter of all that comedy. What's happening in comedy? It's sort of everything in Australia is happening in Melbourne, basically, or Sydney.
Yeah, and just wanting to. Yeah, that's right. Like, there's media there, radio, telly, and stuff, and people to work with, and So I just. It was around the comedy that made me want to move and see what I could do with it, because, because like a few of those videos, like the Stitch Up and Simpsons and that, started to do well. So I was like, I'd always loved comedy, but it was always like in the back of my head, I wanted to do it forever, but in the back of my head, it was like it was going to be a hobby kind of thing. But then when those things started to do well, I was like, oh, let's see how far I can take this.
That's great.
Yeah, so I first moved to Melbourne, lived there about a year. It's pretty tough because I brought the kids down. So I had my parents to help me with the kids in Brizzy. But being a single dad down the Big Smoke, trying to do things by myself was real, and juggle the comedy too. That was really bloody hard. So it was tough at first. And then I met my girlfriend who lives in Ballarat, so I moved up to the Rat. Yeah, so I went small city to the really big city to a country town. So yeah, it's been
Yeah.
a interesting.
You're chasing opportunity though, which is great, and you're not afraid to take the risk. To risk it all to get what you need to do in your life, man. That's a great thing.
Oh yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, yeah, like it's not easy the journey, but I'm aware a lot of people do it tough. So yeah, as they say, got to get off your bum. I don't know, they don't say that, but I'll just make things happen, I guess they say. Or
Yeah.
I don't know. A watched pot doesn't boil. I don't know. Just make them.
I've a lot of sayings, or vague sayings around that, like pick yourself up by the bootstraps and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
I had a boss who used to mix sayings up, and he'd say stuff like, instead of no hard feelings or no bad blood, he'd say no hard blood. Always. We worked in a music shop too, and there's two names for the things you hit that are on a drum, right? There's either the drum skin or the drum head. Now he'd call them skinheads. That's a little bit on the nose when you're talking to customers, and he was bald too, so
Yeah.
You got to be careful when you're talking about skinheads, you know.
That's right. That's right. Try not to mix your sayings up, boys.
Yes.
So what when you're not doing comedy, Gocsy, obviously, which is very rarely because everything you do, you've managed to find something funny in. What do you get up to? You have a bit of a kick of the footy. Do you ever get on Sony? Do you ever get on PlayStation?
No, actually, I did a bit of gaming, sort of, because it's funny. I never had I had a computer. My parents had a computer. That's it. So I never had any of the consoles growing up. But then, when you're a teenager and you start getting like a little side job or whatever, a little bit of yeah. So I think when I was like 16, 17, that sort of thing, got my first. I was a PlayStation 2. Actually, was my first console I ever got.
Nice.
But I haven't had any after that. I'm not a big gamer, but I'm not against it. I've just just didn't happen to get into it. But yeah, I love the PS2 when I had that. Did I make that sound a bit like it was a struggle growing up? No gaming console.
This is your story now. This is your new story, so that you can get on your reality show. Yeah, no, I only had a PS2 with Spider-Man on it and Tony Hawk 3.
But that's all, like, because that's the thing is, I grew up fine. I had nothing to complain. All my like hard luck stories are like that. Like, never had a gaming console.
Hey, at least you never went to a Catholic boarding school. That'd definitely be a sad story.
Yeah, bit of a touchy subject. But,
Speaking of touchy subjects, Gocsy, there's one, like you don't often make any political sort of stuff in your comedy, but there was one that you did that I lost my fucking mind about when Pauline Hanson was trying to like ban Muslims from the country, and your gag was about, and then she started to say something about banning Down syndrome kids from schools or something, and your joke was something about she tried to get the Chinese out, she tried to get the Muslims out, now she's trying to get the Down syndrome kids out. Maybe we should just wait because I love like Chinese and Chinese food and HSPs. Maybe we should give the Down syndrome kids a chance, so let's see if they come up with any cool dishes or something. That was fucking brilliant.
Oh, thanks, mate. Well, like with politics and that, it's not that I don't have my own beliefs and stuff, because I do. It's just like it's bloody hard to make good political humor, I reckon. So I'm just like, I'll leave that to the others, and then also kind of like not a part B of that, or like it's kind of like a side to that. So it's hard, but also B, because it's hard, I told myself, well, with comedy, people want to go to escape, have fun. So I did a little bit of like, politics and comedy shouldn't mix. I don't mean shouldn't as in never, but So but then like I said, I still do have my beliefs. So I'm not really into Pauline. So I thought, how can I mix that with things that I'd talk about, which is obviously crappy food and stuff.
But it's perfect.
Not gourmet. That's what I should say instead of shitty. Not gourmet food, non-gourmet
food. Sub $100 a dish. Let's say that.
Yeah, because it is something that makes me think is often is like people that will have a kebab or a snack pack. Are they people who may not usually like that kind of people who make that food? If you know where I'm.
I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, so things like that make me think, and obviously some of these different cultures we have some fantastic food, and we probably shouldn't be mean to them. That's as political as I get.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah.
But yeah, and again, like I said, I was a bit nervous with that, and I've looked at a few of the comments under it, and there's a few people who don't who weren't very happy about it, as you
Fuck
can
'em.
get when. Yeah. But over the years, I've tried to find different ways to deal with that sort of stuff, like negative comments and stuff, and I've gotten a bit better at it. Back then, I wasn't very good at it, so I just tried to not look at them because I wasn't good at, like, ignoring them, and I'd get sucked in and get into like.
Something about negative comments like that. You react to negative comments the same way you would if they were sitting across the table from you and they said it. You get you get that same emotion, and it's weird.
That's really good point because everyone's got their own way, and some people, and some people are really good at it, and they say, "Oh, ignore it," and that's fine. But it's nothing wrong with you if you do get a bit emotional because it's like, yeah, you still feel it, and
Yeah,
and they
absolutely.
say, I don't know what the percentage is, but you could have, for every 9 or 10 good one, I don't know why I said 9, you know what I mean? The bad ones kind of have more weight sometimes.
Yeah, they hit you much harder. Like I say, it's like when you get a negative one, it's like the person sitting across the table from you. When you get a positive one, you just don't accept it in that same way. You just go, oh, it's blow it off. It's weird. It's weird that when a negative one comes in, you're just like, oh, this motherfucker, Oh.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. And like I said, I've found different ways over the years to try to. I feel like I have, but when you're starting out, you don't know all that, and you just feel how you feel, and it did feel pretty bad, and I've noticed over the years the way the trolls and that work too, where they almost know how to push. Well, of course, that's because that's all they've got going for them,
Yeah,
and they
right.
try to push. Like one particular type I've noticed is they try to make it feel like you've lost them, like, so they'll say, oh, oh, usually, that's a famous one where they go, usually into your stuff, but you've lost me here, that sort of thing. So then you feel like, oh, there's a ticket I could have had sold, and
Yeah.
but the reality probably never were, but like that's good what you say about that, about they're actually sitting there because and some pages and stuff are particularly brutal. I know Triple J, they cop some real bad trolls, like, and with bands, but even I did a bit for them years ago at Melbourne Comedy Fest. It was a quick spot, and the vitriol I had under that, and it did make me feel bad, but mainly because you're like things like that, where it's not a huge industry in Australia. So something like that, you think like, oh, this is huge for me. This is my big break sort of thing. I know it sounds cheesy, but and then
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're in that excited mood, and then you go look at comments and they're like, "Oh, where's the jokes? You call this comedy?" And it hurts straight away. But then you think about it, and you're like, that's probably someone who would be jumping on just about anything, that anyone. And also, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but the old, like, I wonder if they'd even do anything themselves. The kind of person who never create anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I want to reply and say I can't wait to see your special. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I used to get sucked in replying like that, and I've learned kind of not to, because
One person does
the other
reply
thing
like
you've got to realise is that not everyone will like your comedy. That's a big one to accept, is that you're not going to have everyone like it. You might only have a very small percentage of the world like it overall. But if you can find all them people, it's going to add up to a lot of, you got a following then, regardless of how big it is.
Yeah, and that the trolls only know maybe like one style of comedy, and I'm not that, so there's no point trying to be it. Like I'm
Got
not
your
like
audience.
yeah, if they're looking, I'm not like polished like Tommy Little, you know. It's like I'm rough around the edges. So yeah, I just do what I do, and you just got to back yourself, really. Yeah.
One
I think you
comedian
do a
who
good
deals
job.
with the trolls really interestingly is Joel Creasy, and he like goes for them hard. But the thing is, that's kind of part of his comedy I find as well is watching his shows is one thing, but watching his comments is another show. You know what I mean? Because he just fucking destroys these people one by one. It's out of
Oh,
control.
and that
Just,
suits, and that's fine, and I don't really want to be that. Like,
no, you don't need to.
yeah, which is fine, but it's like, yeah, I don't want to. I tried to be that, like at the start, was like come up with a witty reply, and I just found, and also, if you do that, it'll probably just continue on much more where the
They
trolls
want
come.
you to do that because they're like, oh, he's talking to me now. I've been noticed, and now they'll
Yeah,
continue to behave that way.
get a rise out of you because yeah, they don't have anything else going on in their life, a lot of them.
Mm.
So I just yeah, try to, and it's been pretty good for me because like yeah, I cop a bit of grief, and that's the good thing about having your own pages and stuff is like it's because that's yeah, like Triple J is obviously that's why you cop grief because you're coming into their world, and but it's like I don't get much grief on my own pages because if you don't like it, you don't come to it, you know. Like
That's right. Yeah.
that that was one like cheeky reply I used to give when people said stuff, negative stuff. I just go because you know it's free, so and people are like, "There's 3 minutes of my life I'm never getting back." So I'd go like, you know, like, "Oh, that's not how it works, mate," or I go, oh, you know, a bit sarcastically, I go, "I'll send me a message, mate. I'll give you a refund, you know, because it's free."
Only 3 minutes.
Yeah. That's good shit.
But yeah, like yeah, I don't know if that stuff still goes around. You saw it a few years ago. Oh, there's 5 minutes of my life I'll never get back, and like,
Yeah, I get
mate,
it.
you're sitting there wanking. What are you talking about? Like,
If you're from Wankin, well, Pornhub is free at the moment, I'm pretty sure. Just,
Yeah. Very good. I love it.
That's great. So, what have you been working outside of comedy while your career's been happening?
I have done little bits just to kind of keep things ticking by. Probably it's been it's you know until this point, comedy's been pretty good for me last since I moved to Victoria. I've kind of like I don't know exact amount. I was going to say like 80% kind of.
That's still great, man. If you can go somewhere and do your show to make 80% of your living, fuck, man, that's the dream.
And also like and it's only because I've got a family that I got to put a bit more in. If it was just me, I'd be flying, but
Yeah.
I shouldn't say flying, probably hang gliding or something. Hang gliding. But yeah, no, it's been okay. But yeah, then like and you have a lot of downtime too because like a lot of gigs are weekends and stuff. So I'm like, well, instead of sitting around, I just do a bit of labouring and stuff and whatever I can. Yeah, but I'm not qualified or anything, so labouring and yeah.
How are you finding it now? Obviously, because the comedy gigs are canned as well. But you're getting up to much while you've got to kind of isolate a little bit. Do you guys get up to much while you're at home?
Yeah, it's a really weird time actually because yeah, it's like I said before, everyone's different. They find their own way, and some people are very like, oh, use this time productive, and I'm more the opposite. I just I'm like, yeah, I'd like to say I'm accumulating awesome, great jokes, but that'd be a lie. But well, I don't know if you see like you said, you follow me, which I really appreciate. I chuck things on my socials every now and then, and if something comes to me, yeah, it'll just come to me. But yeah, I'm not really forcing it. But and I'm doing a little bit of work too. I've started doing a food delivery for an app, like your Uber Eats sort of thing. So
imagine getting you deliver their food, Gocsy. They'd be very happy for you to show up.
yeah, well, there's been a few people have known me, but and they're like pretty stoked that I delivered their burger and chips or whatever.
Did they get upset that you took a bite out of their burger before it got there, though? Or
I'm showing really good restraint, but some of it smells really nice. So I'm like, I'm consuming it via smell. You know, that's very deep.
I noticed you've got some good quality, unique merch available on your page or your website, Gocsy. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, I got this mate. He's really good. He comes up with a few ideas. His name's Mark. He's a good bloke, and that was a very like half plug. It's like
yes.
Mark, you can, but no, he does. It's not a business. He just he knows some people. And he speak to him. But yeah, so the first really strange one was a few years ago. Was a like a car air freshener, but it smelled like it was supposed to be like iced coffee. It was
I remember that.
Very close because they use like whatever chemical. Obviously, they don't just dip it in iced coffee. But I got in trouble with the missus because like when I got the order, it was like a big box and it really stank because it's like it's all right to have one, but when you got a box of like 100 or whatever. Now I've got flavored milk holders, so it's like a stubby holder sort of thing, but it's a bit bigger. But
for your big M or whatever carton of milk.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can put cans in as well because like you were talking about the Colonials before. I had one of them the other week in there, so yeah. So they have a bit of a kick to them as well.
They
too.
do, mate.
Colonials, yeah. They're a great beer.
They're 6.5% there, Gocsy.
Yeah.
So you only need 2 every bloody night. Around.
Bit of rocket fuel.
Yeah. So if you're on the rations and you can only have a little bit of something, get bigger ones.
You pour a shot of vodka into them as well, right?
I don't know.
Now, I couldn't possibly go any further into this without mentioning your fantastic zip-up jacket there, man. It's I have noticed, and it's very, very sexy. Do you mind if we have a quick look at that?
Oh, okay, here we go.
Where do you get that?
It's
a wind cheater. I thought it was a zip-up.
I got it. It was given to me at the music festival Splendor in the Grass. It was. Yeah. There's a funny story actually because like there's like a side stage where comedians do. We get like really small spots. They give you like 6 or 7 minutes or something, and you do your spot. Some people check out the other acts. Most don't. They just wander around, sort of thing. And anyway, I was wandering around, and I don't know if you've been to these music fests like that, but they've got these like markets and stuff and things on the side. So I was walking past, and this guy comes out. He's like running a like op shop sort of thing. He's like, "Oh, hey man, love you," sort of thing. I was like, "Oh, cool." But then he's like, "You can have anything you want, pick something in there." And I was like, "Oh, like it's a nice offer," but I felt a bit bad about it. I was like, "Oh, yeah. You just sell your stuff, man." And I walked away. But then I started to get cold later in the night. So I was like, I went, I'm like, "Oh, can I take you up on the offer?" And I looked through it, and it was like, like op shops is like, it's that sort of thing where a lot of stuff you wouldn't like, and then you find a gem like this. I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Yeah, I grabbed it, and yeah, it's pretty nice. And unfortunately, because I usually wear like this, I like like your retro old school stuff, and I usually wear this old St Kilda Saints jacket. But unfortunately, I don't know where it is now, but I really like that. It was like had like leather, yeah, bomber jacket sort of thing. But yeah, so that's that story.
I hope the guy who gave you that jacket, if he's following your page, I hope he sees this and gets his shout out and drops us a comment. That'd be funny as hell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too because it's like I'm not usually like wear something that's very like attention seeking or anything, but at the same time I'm into like the retro, so it's more coincidence that it's like really loud and bright because I like that retro part of it, But
do you like the retro music as well?
Yeah, but like at a few times it's had that effect of like kind of like really has that attention grabbing thing where I've, walked in a room a couple of times and people are like, whoa.
Because you look like you could be standing next to a pink Ferrari on the front cover of like a synthwave album.
Yeah, it does have that kind of, yeah.
Late 80s.
Yeah, that's sort of like 80s, whatever. Scarface, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing some of the best scenes from Scarface as yourself? Like, hey, say hi to me little mate here or something. You know what I mean?
Put my face in the mountain of chicken salt, maybe.
Yes. That'd be wicked.
Oh,
it could be instead of the machine gun, I could have like the post mix gun that they have at the bar. The comes out in. What do you guys think about the post mix at bars? It's like it's one of those things. This is what I reckon is. It's shit. It's it's like watered down, whatever. But and then but then sometimes you get one because you're in a bar. You're like, oh, just a Coke, thanks, and you get it, and you're like, yeah.
There's two places in the world. There's only two places in the world that do a good post mix Coke, and that's Hungry Jack's self serve and the cinema.
Yeah.
Is that
Every
right?
pub I've ever been to, it's been disgusting. Think about there's like 5 nozzles there, and they're all just pumping out different juice.
But do you have any conspiracy? I got conspiracy theories about that. It's funny because I was just gonna say like a lot of conspiracy theories. Most people's are like pretty like big issues, like 9/11 or whatever. Mine are all just to do with food and drinks and stuff. It's like, but like something like that, it's probably like to get you to buy booze, don't you reckon? Like they don't want to make it. If they make the Coke too,
If they make the Coke too nice, then people won't add Jimmy to it.
Yeah.
That's a really compelling conspiracy theory.
Make a list. Make a list of those. I reckon that we should, just try to get them all. So we need to sort out what's really going on in the food and drink world because
it's MythBusters.
Frankly, I'm sick of it. So.
Yes, people are like, "Oh, US government did this because of oil or Illuminati," and I'm just like, well, mine are to do with making you buy another drink at the pub.
Do you have any other food and drink conspiracy theories while we're on the topic?
Well, I don't know if this counts as a conspiracy theory. It's more that maybe it comes under the category of like urban myth. But those classic ones you hear about like Macca's and that, where it's like, the apple pie is choco. Did you ever hear that?
Apple pie's what?
Choco. That was the one that was going around when I was a kid. Maybe it was a 90s.
What's choco?
Myth. That's the stupid. See, this is a stupid part of this myth or conspiracy theory, or whatever you want to call it. It's like it's a pretty gross vegetable. It's like, but that's the thing, right? It's like apples aren't that expensive, so why would they be? Are they, right? You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's not like it's mango or some fruit like that, right? I know that, or maybe, I don't know, but yeah, it doesn't even make sense. It's like,
it's just cheaper to use apples in the apple pie than it is to go and source choco.
Yeah, we'd have to kind of this vegetable that's pretty hard to get
just in South America.
Because, like, I'm sure they wouldn't. Like they could just get low grade apples, you could just get reject apples or something.
What do you think the McNuggets are made out of?
Oh, I'm not going to badmouth McNuggets, but
no. They're just there's that thing about like pink slime, or Jamie Oliver did like a smear campaign against them to say that it was all like pink sludge or something.
But those sort of guys, it's like that Super Size Me doco. Like they're trying to like make this big reveal, like. Yeah, it's
about shit everybody knew. It's McDonald's.
Yeah, they're like, big revelation. Macca's aren't using the finest produce. Or like,
no shit. Yeah. Even the CEO of Macca's came out after that show, the Australian one, and said, well, as far as for any, he does, they do this when they talk, as far as anybody who thinks that eating our food for 30 days is not healthy for you, well, we could have told you that.
Yeah. And yeah, totally. That was a big one, was like, yeah, it's not meant to be that's meant to be eaten in moderation. So
I watched Super Size Me, and the whole time I just wanted to go and get a double quarter pounder.
Oh,
yeah.
See,
A lot of
I'm at this point where I only eat the Macca's breakfast menu now. Like every time I have one of the burgers, it just tastes like soft cardboard. And salt. So I just can't do it anymore. But
yeah, it's one of my least favorite of the places because probably just cost myself a.
So we can cut that out. No. Take it.
They don't really use people anyway, do they? For like
Nah.
sponsors.
I don't think they do. No, they use Justin Timberlake's song "I'm Loving It," but that's about it.
I don't even know why they have ads on TV because it's like you see that.
They're massive.
I guess advertisers will tell you it's to do with being at the front of your mind. I don't know.
Marketing, yeah.
Sees that and like, yeah, I'm gonna try that Macca's sometime, you know.
What's your favourite? What's your favourite of the chains then, Gocsy? If Macca's isn't your favourite,
Red Rooster.
I go through periods where I'm like have too much and get sick of it, but like I like Hungry's a lot more than Macca's. You know, it's got that nice taste of the flame grilled and obviously red. Like I said, it started as a bit of a joke, but I've got Stockholm
Red Rooster chips are so good. And what did you think about Hungry Jack's when they changed the chips? Did you dig that or?
Yeah, like you mean where they got a bit thicker? Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I prefer thicker to like the
Same.
thin. That's why I don't. The Macca's like the thin ones,
I think they throw a bit of chicken salt on them too, Hungry Jack's.
Ooh.
KFC chips would be nice if they cooked them properly. There's always
Good point. That was my next controversy.
I reckon they just get it from the freezer and put it in because it's often like
I've got a confession to make to you, Gocsy. I worked for KFC for 6 years with my first job.
So you'd have some big revelation.
Mate, all of them. But like I was when we worked at at the KFC that we worked at was regarded as like the best KFC in the country for quality. We were in a place called Kangaroo Flat in Bendigo, and they would always win these internal competitions, which I don't know how they judged them, but I was a fucking chip master. If I took that job seriously, I'd probably be on the big bucks right now.
Or something.
What's that?
I said they might have been the only one to enter.
Like probably were the only one to enter. Yeah. But I saw so much shit going wrong in that joint. It was disgusting. But here's the thing. After I left there, I could never get the chips to taste as good. And then I found the glory of our Lord and Savior, Red Rooster. Because, my God, their chips are always good because no one ever goes there. So they cook you fresh chips every time. It's great.
Yeah, they do. They aren't very – they're not seen as very cool, but, yeah.
Up north, I'm pretty sure they're a bit bigger than they are here. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. I was going to say, like, one thing I kind of liked about them or made me start kind of, like, I guess making fun of it a bit was that kind of, like, just – not trying to keep up with the trends and just like, and that's what you're getting. But after that, then they did start kind of like they brought in like they were trying to do fish and chips and also they did do trends. They were just like really slow to them, so they'd do like pulled like a year after pulled. So I think they'll be doing like banh mi soon or something.
They'll be doing banh mi in a year and a half.
After things are cool.
They've only just started to do popcorn chicken. They're called like buttermilk poppers or something like that, and they're not on the top of my menu.
Yeah,
I don't know. Classic quarter.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the reasoning. Like, if it's maybe their supply is really slow, so they find out that something's in, and then they order it, and it takes a year to get there or something.
They need a Gocsy marketing makeover. I think that's what it needs.
Yeah, maybe that can. That's what I should do during this downtime is be a what do you call it? Where companies get ideas from you.
We call them a piece of clay.
Yeah, exactly.
but that's more of an internal gag. But yeah, one of those media marketing guys. What if you were to take over marketing for Red Rooster? What would your first thick shake be that you put on the menu? Because obviously that's got to happen.
Yeah, you can't
because they're obviously that far out of date.
Yeah, well, they'll start. You know what they'll start doing is those ones. Remember that were like cool about 2 or 3 years ago. They're like real ridiculous ones that had like a syringe in them and that sort of stuff.
Like the KFC crusher.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Partially gelatinated beverages.
Yeah. I'd probably go, it's hard to go past your classic sort of cookies and cream, that sort of one.
Definitely very 2016.
Yeah. I've kind of doing this delivery job of I mean, I was living here, so I knew what was around, but when you do something for a job like that, you pick up on more of what the trends are and that. So I've noticed we love it here in Ballarat, that kind of like burger place that was big 3 or 4 years ago, that kind of like grilled sort of style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They like,
Carl's Jr. in Ballarat. Have you been there?
oh, I tried it the other day for the first time. It was no good.
No, good.
Well,
No, really. I'm looking forward to trying it.
Well, the asterisk, I don't know if I said that right. Asterisk. Anyway, close enough. Is like when you judge something, you got to be, it's like, did you get the worst thing there? So I got to say, I got the like the basic burger, whatever it was, but still, it was no good.
I'm a bit of a burger fiend, and every time you go to a place, if you got to get their basic cheeseburger, because if they fuck their basic cheeseburger up, then you know that everything else is going to be on that level. But
that's a good, and because the local place in Ballarat, that like everyone likes, I had their like basic cheeseburger, and it was really nice, and I had the Carl's one, and it wasn't so. But like, that's what I'm saying. I could have got the one that had all the extras and trimmings and stuff, and it might have been nice, but the one I got was no good.
How do you feel about the checker fries?
Yeah, that's another Ballarat institution. I actually had things like that when I first came up, and then because of that, like, when in Rome sort of thing. But then when you live in a place, you don't do those things, you know what I mean? Because you're like, oh, it's there, I'll go sometime. You must have those sort of things there where people ask you about it and then you don't do it because you live there.
Yeah, not really. Bendigo's pretty boring. I mean, they're like, do you go to the gold mine a lot? And I'm like, I've been there once for school,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, people ask me that about Ballarat. Yeah,
People still go, oh, Bendigo's got the all-you-can-eat Pizza Hut. I think Ballarat has one, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and everyone asks, oh, do you go to that? Because it's like it used to be everywhere, now it's nowhere. But no one goes, it's always empty.
I used to tell them I had a stamp on my hand so I could get back in for dinner.
Yeah, because you don't think, because they see it as a novelty, and we just see it as that dodgy place that's there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, my thing with Pizza Hut, I think I've been to it probably like 4 or 5 times. Like I said, I've been living here about 3 years now, because I'll go and then I'm like, tell myself, like, never again, And then you find yourself in 7 or 8 months because you're like, because you just, that novelty of having a lot of something. But it's
Pizza Hut is owned by the same people who own KFC, and if you if you look for places to link together, KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, A&W American Foods, and Long John Silver's are all owned by the same company. Just some of that 6 years of KFC.
The big players.
Knowledge.
The big players.
They might have had Sizzler at some point too, but then dropped it. Or
what's that? Taco Bell?
Or that group that might have. I think Sizzler might have had them, or a long time ago, maybe.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Perhaps, yeah. I actually know the dude who had our Sizzler in Bendigo and opened it up and stuff like that. And he said, there was some shonky shit going on in behind the scenes at Sizzler back in the day. Not as far as the food goes, as more as far as the money went.
Well, that's another, like, talking before about shitty conspiracy theories, is that whole, like, it's not even really a conspiracy theory, it's just basic business, but I'm always like, oh, the food costs less than what you know what I mean? It's all
yeah. Just selling it out at negative profit.
Yeah. And but another where it's not really a conspiracy theory, but it's just it's like RSLs and that, where they have a great, you actually get better value. You know, their buffets are really good because the whole thing is like get you in, just hope that you gamble and stuff. So
Yeah, exactly.
the conspiracy theory, that's just sad. Mark,
I've had some great RSL meals though. I'll tell you that much.
that's just depressing, like marketing. Yeah. Oh, I know. There's this one in Brisbane. So like, I reckon buffets is really like a Queensland culture sort of thing. So anyway, there's this one my parents do, and it's like massive. It's huge, and it's like it's really good, really nice. It's called Greenbank RSL. Anyway, it's about like 15 minutes drive from where they live. And then one time I went back up there to see them, and I swear I'm not making this up. Like they picked me up from the airport, and we go straight there. It's like that was for me. This very like, even though I'm from Queensland, always lived there. That was my moment of like, this is such a Queensland thing we're doing.
Yeah,
You know,
just go straight to the buffet.
like how's your flight? You know, do you want to relax at home? So we're just straight to the buffet.
Fuck, that's great. What do you stack on your plate when you hit the buffet?
Oh, mate, you know, you try to go things that you don't normally have, you know, because like you say that, but you go straight to the chips, you know.
Yes, you do.
But, yeah, you know, like things. That's my policy often for eating out too. Is like something you can't have at home, or something that's maybe hard to make that you
Agree.
know, which is pretty much everything for me. But,
So, do you have a deep fryer at home? Do you ever make chips there?
not like a deep fryer machine, but I'll just use like the saucepan or.
I've been trying to air fry my chips, and they've been working really well until I got a new air fryer, and now just the top of them goes crispy. And the old one was glass, so you could see through it, and now I got to open it every like 3 minutes and toss them around. And it's becoming a real pain in the ass. So it's looked like chips are a thing of the past for me now, unless I go out and buy them.
So how does that make them come out? Do they come out kind of like they would in the shops, or?
Well, no, they used to in my old fryer, but something's happened with this one. So they basically, a normal deep fryer at 290 degrees Celsius takes 1 minute. It takes like a minute 50 or something, a minute and a half to come out, 90 seconds, I think it is, to come out okay. But if you do it in an air fryer, it takes 10 minutes, and then you flip them for another 10 minutes. So that takes 20 minutes. So I really feel like you're earning the chips, but they do come out a little floury and kind of soft. They don't crisp up like normal chips because they're not being permeated with boiling oil. So, but at the end of the day, you salt them up and they still taste good if you do them right. But I'm feeling like I'm going to move back over to the oven bake instead, because it's not doing it for me anymore, boys. Just going to have to do it the hard way.
It's lost you. Yeah.
That's okay. I lost me too, man. I lost me a long time ago. But no, it's just it's becoming a problem. I think I might have to buy myself a deep fryer, and I don't know if there's any healthy oil. Is there any healthy oil? Fuck it, we'll just get.
Probably asking the wrong person, but I think it's what I've heard is just they're all bad, but you get varying degrees of bad.
Like buy some of that $14 coconut oil.
I think there's ones that have been banned in places that, those they got like trans fats and stuff. I don't know.
They're just straight from the liposuction clinic.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I reckon we're probably approaching the end of the episode there, Gocsy. So we'll give you the floor. Is there anything you want to say to anybody out there? Any people we want to tell off, or you want to tell thanks to, or something? Or
not really. I just want to say thanks heaps for having me, but obviously, yeah, like I said, I'm well aware that everyone's doing it tough, so I'm not like poor me, but I am poor. So, but yeah, if anyone's watching that or listening, I don't know what format this is coming out in, but I'm keen to be booked in for stuff when all this stuff blows over eventually, hopefully. I think it will. I can't see it going on forever. That'd suck. But we're just going to live it down for the rest of our life. But yeah, no, seriously, yeah, I'll be looking to get out. So yeah, private functions. I do backyard gigs, footy clubs, you know, yeah, and also yeah, like you said, merch and stuff. Yeah, just help out your local comedian.
Yeah,
That's good.
absolutely.
Shop
Yeah, shop local. Yeah, so yeah, and as you said, Gocsy, you've got a live show that you want to do that hasn't really been released yet. So that's something that you can look
You know,
towards.
when it's over, I'll try and have another crack at that, hopefully. But
Yep.
obviously, logistics of getting guests at one place for the comedy fest was going to be good for. Yeah, maybe next year's comedy fest. There's a lot of water to fly under the bridge. But so to wrap up what I've said, book me in for work, please.
Yes.
Definitely. And thank you so much, Gocsy, for coming on the show, man. We really appreciate you popping along and having a chat with us today, man. It's been really great.
Thanks for putting up with my early tech issues because, yeah, I'm just a local battler having a crack. I don't have any, I don't have any knowledge of tech. So.
No, you've done great. Thanks for putting up with my waffling, Gocsy. So.
I was going to say I'm a boomer in a young man's body, but this is not this is, I'm just a boomer. Yeah, but with a little bit of a better view of different. Anyway.
Well, we're really looking forward to seeing some more Gocsy in the future, mate. We know you've got plenty of cool shit to come, and like you said, it's just a matter of getting that support there to keep you going through. Because at the end of the day, you're an ideas man, and all you need is a bit of backing and some people to believe in you and come along with you for the ride, mate. So you know we're happy to be here for that part of that ride, and thanks for boosting our profile a little bit by coming on the show. You know.
Yeah, thanks, Gocsy. Much appreciated, mate.
Cheers. Thanks, legend. See ya.